You should not be here.
I was invited.
I don't know this woman.
Say that again?
She needs to leave.
Nari raised one small arm and pointed straight at him.
That's my daddy.
The room stopped breathing.
Come with me.
This is not an agreement. This is a conversation.
I know.
He took them upstairs to a private lounge. The Han River sat far below the glass. Nari studied the room like it belonged to her. Then she saw the watch.
Crack.
Yes, my cup has a crack. Mama says it still works.
You knew when you left. You never called. You decided and you moved on. So tell me, Jae-won, what exactly was I supposed to call and say? She found the photograph herself, bottom drawer. She pointed at your watch and said, watch. She has been looking at that picture for 3 months. She knew the watch before she knew your name.
What is her name?
Nari.
I did not know.
I know you did not. That does not change what happened. You had a wife who told you the truth and you chose not to believe her.
I want to see her or yours.
At 2 in the morning, he called Min-ho. The original file on Sophia, tonight. Creation dates, modification records, everything. Min-ho put the folder on his desk at 7. 2 key documents, Min-ho said. Timestamps do not match the server logs. Someone built them later and backdated them. Careful work. Metadata does not lie. Jae-won set the folder down. Director Yoon. Min-ho nodded. He was in contact with the CEO family. Their eldest daughter had been positioned for you for a year before Sophia left. Yoon built the evidence. He put it on your desk. Within 3 months, he recommended the introduction to your father. She had nothing to do with it, Min-ho said. One health conference. She did not know the man. No betrayal, a woman doing her job. They used her. Jae-won looked at his hands. He had ended a marriage in one conversation because of paper a man manufactured so he would stay alone and easy to move. Somewhere in Mapo, a woman had found out she was pregnant 10 days after he let her walk, raised his daughter alone, and never once taught that child to hate him. He picked up his phone. Put it down. She did not give him her number so he could apologize at 7 in the morning. He would go in person. No lawyers, no associates, just the man who got it wrong. That afternoon, he had Director Yoon brought in. Yoon smiled first. Chairman. Jae-won did not sit. You built the file. Yoon's mouth changed. I protected the family. You forged dates. I gave you what you needed to see. Say her name. Yoon stayed quiet. Jae-won put the metadata printouts on the table. Creation after the claim date. Edits after midnight. Your login, your machine. She was never one of us. She was my wife. She was a problem. The CEO match was already moving. You were becoming difficult to steer. Jae-won stepped closer. You used a lie to take a child from her father before the child was even born. Yoon looked at the door. There is no door for you, Jae-won said. You will write every contact, every payment, every conversation with that family. You will sign it. If one line is missing, you will not leave this building as a man with a future. Yoon wrote. When it was done, Jae-won took the account to his father and did not soften a word. She was pregnant when she left. She raised my daughter alone for 2 years. She never spoke against me to the child, not once. His father looked at the table. I am going to fix this, Jae-won said. Not for the family, because it is the only honest thing left. That evening, he stood outside a small building above a Nigerian food shop and knocked like an ordinary person. Sophia opened the door holding a pan. Nari was on a step stool in the kitchen. We are making eggs. I am sorry to come without calling. Come in. Nari has been telling Auntie Bisi about her daddy since this morning. I could use confirmation you are real. Nari saw him and held out a wooden spoon. You can stir. He stirred. If this already hit you, tap like and tell me in the comments. Would you have opened that door? They ate at the small table. Nari talked about eggs, about a child named Bora who took things without asking, about whether the moon got tired. After she slept, Sophia made tea. He told her everything. Metadata, backdated papers, Yoon, the CEO family, the full timeline, no excuses. When he finished, she said, I know. He looked at her. Not all of it, but I knew something had been built around me, because I knew myself. And because the man who believed it without checking was not the man I thought I married, I had to decide which was real. The documents or him. I decided I had been wrong about the man. She said it like a fact she had already paid for. If I had kept believing in you, I would have waited. I could not wait. I had Nari. What do you need from me? Nari needs a father, not a name. A person who shows up, who learns her eggs, which story she wants, why Bora taking things is a serious crime to her. She comes first. Yes, and I need to trust you. I do not yet. I will not pretend I do. Trust is built slowly and without guarantee. I understand. Two people. A sleeping child in the next room. The truth, finally, in a room too small for his old life. It was not forgiveness. It was the start of the bill coming due. Because the men who built that lie were not finished, and the next time they came, they would not come with paper. They would come with an address. He came every Tuesday and every Saturday. No motorcade, no men at the door. He parked down the street and walked up the stairs like a person who had lost the right to arrive any other way. On Tuesdays, he waited outside the daycare gate. Nari saw him and ran the last few steps with her bag bouncing against her side. Apply. The first time she said it on the street, Jae-won had to look away for a second before he could pick up her bag. They stopped at the steamed bun cart she had been watching for months. She chose with both hands. She wiped sugar on her jacket. She talked without stopping. Bora took the red crayon again. Did you tell the teacher? I told Bora. Telling Bora is more important. He almost smiled. Then he didn't, because smiling still felt like something he had not earned. On Saturdays, he arrived at 9. Sophia opened the door already in motion, pan in one hand, phone in the other. She did not perform welcome. She let him in and went back to the stove. Eggs hard, Nari announced from the step stool. Not the wet ones. I remember. Captain sits at the table. He does not eat. He watches. Captain was the one-eared rabbit. Jae-won learned that fast. If he moved Captain without asking, Nari's whole face changed, and Sophia would glance over like a test had just been failed. He learned the 2 minutes of silence after waking. He learned which story she wanted twice and which one she only wanted when she was already half asleep. He learned that Sophia took her tea strong and that she never asked him to make it. He made it anyway. If you are still here, you already know this is not a soft story. Stay, the park is coming. In the third week, Nari finished her bun on the walk home, wiped her hands, turned, and wrapped both arms around his leg. 4 seconds. Then she let go. Come on. The leaves are the good ones here. He stood on the pavement longer than a man like him was supposed to stand. That night, he sat in the car outside the building for 10 minutes and did not start the engine. In the second month, she fell asleep on him. Saturday, sofa, book open, Sophia on a call in the bedroom. Nari simply lay sideways against his arm like the matter had already been decided. He did not move. 40 minutes. He looked at the drawings on the wall. He looked at Sophia's book with a boarding pass used as a bookmark. He thought about every Saturday that had existed without him, and he did not look away from it. Sophia stopped in the doorway. She said nothing. She put a cup of tea within his reach and went back to the kitchen. That was the first crack. Neither of them named it. Then the park. It was not a bad fall. A scraped knee. The sound was bigger than the wound. Nari cried the full cry of a child who wants the world to stop. She looked up through the tears and said one word. Daddy, not Mama. Daddy. Jae-won was already on the ground. He picked her up. I have you. I have you. You are okay. He said it until the crying broke into hiccups, and she pressed her face into his neck. Sophia stood a few steps away and did not trust her voice. That night, after Nari was in bed, Sophia sat on the balcony with tea going cold. She admitted what she had been calling caution. The tea at the right heat, the way he said her name on the phone, the 40 minutes he did not move. It was starting to look like fear, and the fear was not of him. She thought about the hospital, form signed alone. 3 in the morning, with no one to tap. She had built a self that needed nobody, and she was not ready to take that self apart for a man who once chose paper over her mouth. Then she thought about Nari on the ground saying daddy first. She went inside. She went to bed. She already knew what she was deciding. The balcony was only where she admitted it. If that park scene sat in your chest, write one word in the comments. Daddy, I read them. The call came on a Thursday at 11:47. Minho's voice was flat in the way it went flat when the problem was already in motion. They know about the apartment, the PIO network. Someone talked. They have the address. Jae-won was on his feet before the sentence finished. They had watched the Tuesdays, the Saturdays. A man who used to be available to everyone had started being unavailable on the same days. They read it as weakness. They found the building. They connected it to him. He made 4 calls in under 3 minutes. The 5th was Sophia. She picked up on the 2nd ring. Take Nari to the back room now. Lock the interior door. Do not open it for anyone until I call you again. A pause. How bad? Working on it. Go. And he heard her move. He heard the lock. Then nothing. Sophia did not make noise when she was afraid. 35 minutes. The team he had placed in the neighborhood weeks earlier, without telling her, intercepted 2 men 3 streets away. No shots on her block. Street cleared. He reached the door at 12:40. Sophia opened it with Nari on her hip. The child was half asleep, holding Captain with both hands. Sophia's face was composed. That composure was not distance. It was 2 years of functioning inside fear, because the other option had not been available. Is she okay? She is fine. She thinks it was a fire drill. She looked at him. Are you okay? No, he said. It was the most honest thing he had said in years. She stepped back. She let him in. He sat at the kitchen table while she put Nari down. When she came back, 2 cups were already there. She had decided something in the bedroom before she returned. They found the apartment, he said. I heard you on the phone. This is my world. It will keep finding you, both of you. I told myself protection was enough. He stopped. Tonight told me it is not. Sophia waited. I am stepping down. From everything. She looked at him a long time. That is not a small thing. I know. Your family, the organization, everything you built. Yes, you cannot do this for us. You do not do it for yourself, it will not hold. He met her eyes. It is for myself. I built all of it because I did not know what else to do with who I was. I do not want that man anymore. I stopped wanting him the first Tuesday. I walked Nari home, and she spent 20 minutes telling me why the clouds looked like animals. I was more present in that conversation than I had been in any boardroom in 10 years. Sophia pressed her lips together. Give me until morning. She brought a pillow and a blanket and set them on the sofa without ceremony. He slept there. In the morning, she made 2 cups of tea and put 1 in front of him. That was her answer. The transition took 37 days. It was not clean. 3 senior men resigned, 2 came privately, and said they had been waiting for someone to do it. His father said nothing useful. The press called it weakness. Jae-won read none of it. He was at the Tuesday pickup. He was at Saturday morning. The night it was formally done, Nari called at 8. Good night, Daddy. Good night, baby. He sat in a small rented place in Mapo, near the river, and felt the quiet of a man who had put something heavy down. He thought it was over. It was not. Because director Yoon was no longer in the building, and the CEO family had not spent a year positioning a daughter just to watch Jae-won walk into a 1-bedroom life and close the door. The next move would not be a forged file. It would be Nari. Yoon did not come himself. He sent a photograph. It arrived on Jae-won's phone at 6:12 in the morning. No name, no threat written out. Just Nari at the daycare gate from the day before, bag on her shoulder, Jae-won crouched in front of her tying a shoe. The second picture was Sophia leaving the Nigerian shop with oil on her wrist. The third was the step stool in the kitchen window. Min-ho was in the room before Jae-won finished looking. CEO side, Min-ho said. Yoon is sitting with them. He told them you walked away because of a child you cannot even put on paper. They think the child is leverage. Jae-won's hand closed on the phone. Where is Nari now? Still home. Sophia has not left. He called her. Do not take her to daycare today. Sophia's voice stayed level. Talk. They photographed her. Yesterday. The gate. Your shop. The window. Silence. Then, how long have they been watching? I am coming. No, you are not bringing that noise to this door in daylight. You tell me the plan first. He hated that she was right. 2 cars. 1 at the back alley, 1 on the corner. You stay inside. I move her tonight, not now. You do not move my daughter like a package. Sophia, you listen. She has a life, a stool, a rabbit, a teacher. You do not erase that because men with cameras are afraid of you leaving. You fix the men. I will. Then fix them before dinner. She eats at 6. She hung up. If your chest just tightened, you are in the right video. Keep watching. Jae-won did not go to the CEO house with a speech. He went with the file Yoon had signed, the metadata, the transfers, and a recording Min-ho had pulled from a hallway Yoon thought was clean. The eldest daughter was not in the room. The father was. "You left a seat empty," the man said. "Empty seats get filled, or they get used." Jae-won put the photographs on the table. "You put a camera on a 2-year-old. We put a camera on a weakness. Say her name." The man smiled without warmth. "I do not need her name. I need you back in the chair." Jae-won leaned in. "Yoon forged my divorce. You used it. Now you are using my child. That is not business. That is the last mistake you make in this city. You have no organization. I have every name that moved money through Yoon. I have the date you asked for the introduction. I have the call where you said, if the foreign wife will not disappear, make her disappear on paper." The smile died. "You play that, you start a war. You already started it when you photographed a child tying her shoe." He left the copies on the table and walked out. Yoon called him 20 minutes later. "You think a folder stops men like that? I think you picked the wrong child. Bring the girl to a meeting and this ends." Jae-won stopped walking. "Say that again." "A public park, 1 hour, the mother can come. We talk like adults. You do not see her. You do not stand on the same ground as her." Yoon's voice thinned. "Then we take the next picture closer." The line died. Jae-won called Sophia. They asked for Nari. He heard her sit down. "Where?" "They will not get aware." Jae-won, "I need you to trust me for one night." A long breath. "One night, not a life." At 5:40, Sophia dressed Nari in the jacket with the wrong button because Nari refused the other one. Captain went in the bag. Jae-won did not come to the front door. He came through the shop downstairs. Auntie BC looked at his face and locked the street entrance without being asked. "Go," she said. "I did not see you. They used the back stairs." Nari held his thumb. "Are we hiding?" Sophia answered before he could lie badly. "We are playing a quiet game, like the fire drill. No talking to strangers. I don't like strangers who take crayons." "Neither do I," Jae-won said. The first car was clean. The second car, 2 streets over, was not. Min-ho's voice hit the earpiece. 2 on the corner, 1 by the school route. They expected daycare. "Hold them. What happened on that corner does not need decoration. It was fast, it was ugly. It ended with Yoon's men on the ground and Yoon himself still missing." They reached the safe flat Min-ho had kept empty for years. Small, no view, 1 bedroom. Nari climbed onto the bed with Captain and looked at both of them. "Is Appa sleeping here?" Sophia glanced at Jae-won. "Tonight," she said. Nari nodded, satisfied, and asked for the moon story. He read it twice. When she slept, Sophia stood at the window with her arms folded. "This is the life you said you left. This is the last of it. You keep saying last." He took out his phone and showed her the pictures. Gate, shop, window. Sophia's jaw tightened. "They stood outside my kitchen." "Yes." "They watched her eat." "Yes." She turned. "Then you do not get to be gentle with Yoon. I am done with gentle. I carried her alone. I will not have men I cannot see decide she is a door they can open. I am not being gentle." Good. At 1:03, the hallway camera Min-ho had put in 12 minutes after they arrived, picked up a man who did not live in the building. Yoon. He was alone. That was the arrogance. Jae-won was already at the door. Sophia caught his wrist. "She is in the next room." "I know." "Then you come back. You do not get to die in a hallway and leave me to explain it to a child who just learned the word daddy." He looked at her. "I am coming back." He opened the door. Yoon smiled like a man who still thought paper was power. "Chairman, you brought the family on a trip. You brought a camera to a daycare. Give me the child and I disappear. The CEO gets their pride. You keep your little house. Everyone lives." Jae-won's voice went quiet. "You forged a marriage out of my hands. You do not touch my daughter." Yoon reached inside his coat. He did not finish the movement. Min-ho came from the stairwell. The rest was short. Yoon on the floor. The gun not fired. The folder of his own confession already on its way to people who could bury a man without a headline. Jae-won went back inside. Sophia was standing in front of the bedroom door. "Well?" "He will not take another picture." She searched his face for the old lie, the one that used to arrive with certainty. She did not find it. Nari's voice came through the door, small and annoyed. "You are talking too loud. The moon is sleeping." Sophia closed her eyes once. Then she did something she had not done in 2 years. She reached for Jae-won's hand. Not for romance. For proof he was still in the room. In the morning, she said, we go home. Her stool, her kitchen, her life. You want a place in it, you build it there. Not in hiding. Yes. And Jae-won. Yes. If anyone comes to that window again, you do not call me last. I will not. She let go of his hand. The night was not peace. It was the last locked door before the real test. Because going home was easy to say. Living in the open, with a child who had already been photographed, was the part that could still break them. They went home in the morning. Nari ran to the step stool first, then to Captain's place at the table, then to the window like she needed to confirm the street was still hers. Sophia unlocked the shop door downstairs and told Auntie BC thank you with her eyes. Jae-won stood in the small kitchen and waited to be told where he was allowed to stand. Eggs, Nari said. Hard. He cooked. No one made a speech about last night. Sophia put 2 plates down and 1 small bowl. She ate. She watched him. She watched the street once, then she stopped watching the street. And that was how he knew she had decided to try living again. The open days returned. Tuesday gate. Saturday morning, 8 o'clock call. He did not miss one. The city talked. He did not answer the city. What he answered was a child who held menus like a job and a woman who still did not say forgive. If you stayed this long, you already chose a side. Don't leave before she asked the question. 7 months after the ballroom, the restaurant opened on a Thursday. 12 tables, open kitchen, walls the color of warm stone. A mural Nari had argued over until the painter put the child exactly where she wanted. One hand toward one sea, one hand toward the other. The sign said Nari's, not because the place was a monument, because everything they had built from the wreckage needed a name that was not shame. Sophia's mother came from Lagos and settled the West African side of the menu like a woman who does not negotiate twice. Jollof beside doenjang jjigae, suya spiced grilled pork that Nari named the good meat, and no one was foolish enough to rename it. Jae-won worked the stove. Sophia took the desk. Nari moved between tables with 2 menus and a face that said this was serious work. On a Saturday, the room was full. Regulars, noise, heat, ordinary life, which is the loudest kind of victory. Nari climbed the old step stool in the kitchen pass and looked at both of them. Uppa. Yes. She looked at Sophia. She looked at Jae-won. She looked at the tables through the pass, at people eating food from both worlds she had been born between. Then she said it like a decision she had already tested in her head. Can we all live in the same house now? The kitchen went quiet. Sophia looked at Jae-won. He looked at Sophia. 2 years of Tuesdays. 1 Thursday night. A cup of tea set down as an answer. A child who had pointed across a ballroom before either adult had the courage. Jae-won reached across the desk and took Sophia's hand. She turned her palm and held on. He looked at Nari. We are working on it. Nari studied their hands the way she studied rules. Then she nodded, picked up her menus, and went back to the floor. Sophia did not let go. That was not a child's joke, she said. I know. If we do this, you do not get a second empire behind my back. You do not get a second set of papers. You get this kitchen, this child, this woman who will leave again if you choose a lie over her mouth. I know. Say it properly. He looked at her in the heat and the noise and the mural of 2 coastlines. I chose the wrong thing once. I will not choose it twice. I want the house. I want the mornings. I want her to keep saying Appa because it is true, not because it is useful. Sophia's eyes shone, and she hated that they did. You still have to earn the key. I will earn the key. She squeezed his hand once. Then stop renting like a man who might run. That night, after close, Nari fell asleep in the office chair with Captain under her chin. Jae-won carried her to the car. Sophia locked Nari's herself. On the street, she stopped him. The ballroom, she said. When you told 400 people you did not know me. He waited. I needed her to say it. I needed the room to hear it. I needed you to hear it from a child who had not learned how to lie for powerful men. I heard it. Good. Because I will never stand in a room again and let you unmake me with a sentence. You will not have to. She searched his face. Then she nodded, once, like a contract. They did not move in that week. They moved in the week after, quietly. Boxes and a step stool and a rabbit with 1 ear. No cameras, no family statement. A small place near the river. 3 toothbrushes, 2 stories at night. Eggs in the morning, hard, not wet. Nari walked through the rooms and assigned them. This is Mama's cup, This is Appa's watch chair. This is Captain's sofa. Nobody sit on Captain. Nobody, Jae-won said. Sophia stood in the doorway and watched a feared man accept rules from a 3-year-old. And something in her chest finally put down the bag it had been holding since the night he signed the papers. This story did not end with a rescue. It ended with a restaurant full of people, a child doing her job, and 2 adults who chose the harder thing on purpose. It began with a man saying he did not know a woman. It turned when a little girl pointed and told the truth in front of 400 people who thought they ran the city. If that pointing stayed with you, write it in the comments right now. Tell me the moment that got you. The ballroom, the watch, the park, the hallway, the question in the kitchen. Like this video if you felt it. Subscribe if you want the next one. Share it with someone who has ever been told they did not belong in a room they had every right to stand in. We will see you in the next story.